affirmations. Go. Wake up every day and say your affirmations. Go. Wake up every day and say your affirmations. Go. Wake up every day and say your affirmations. Go. Happiness and kindness is a choice. Wake up.
My connection is so bad.
Greetings.
It isn't bad. This is one of my favorite songs by John in the background. It's called Altruism.
I say.
My favorite part. Yes.
Got yourself a real bona fide fan right there, John.
Because I can't even remember how long it's been since I listened to this song.
Yes, yeah. Well, you listen to it. Yeah. I was like, John, but hey, it is. Hold on. Let me go see where we at. Are we posted? And we are. Let me go ahead and start sharing group wise. Family tree.
It'd be nice if we can share this to TikTok.
Yeah, but TikToks don't do lives like this. You can't stream live like that.
I know. I've tried.
But you be having people going live on TikTok though.
Yeah,
but they got to do it through the TikTok. Directly
through
the app.
Through TikTok, and it will be a lot of.
You can't stream
individual.
Into it.
Yeah. We should do it individual.
Mm.
Maybe.
Yeah, that'll have to be like separate though.
Yeah, that's
it will be
camera.
Yeah.
We
a whole nother camera watching you.
Yeah,
that's really that's a whole nother show, really.
Yeah,
that's a whole nother show.
Yeah, that'll be one of those cameras that Sawadama got.
Yeah, send me the information on that camera. It follows you as you walk around.
Man, it follows, it edits.
Wow.
He said it edits.
It does it all.
Oh wow.
They actually have a filter on TikTok, a body cam body or something, and on your regular phone, if you move around, it follows you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's I haven't used it, but I've seen it. It's like, let me check this out.
Oh wow. All right. Well, it's been 3 minutes. We're gonna go ahead and get started. This is things that people don't want to talk about, brought to you by me, God Level. I want to thank everyone for your ongoing support. All of our faithful viewers out there, we really appreciate it. As my brother would say, don't forget to like, subscribe, or share this live, and invite people over as well. Like-minded individuals, come on in. Again, I am God Level. I am a mother. I am a nurse. I'm a friend. I'm an aunt. I'm a sister. I'm a cousin. I am everything good. John, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
John Skywalker, the Sly Talker here, lyricist, spoken word artist, martial artist, personal trainer, lover of life, student of psychology, and I'm a father who has several hip-hop albums streaming on all major streaming platforms. I have Dimensions, Higher Dimensions, Light Benders, and I have my latest.
I am.
All right. The Law of Attraction, Law of Affirmations. That might need to be an album though. Yeah, I might need to do that. But anyways, latest one only has 5 tracks on it. 16 minutes. Y'all should go ahead and stream that if you like positive, conscious, uplifting, and peaceful hip hop. Bars.
Absolutely. Salute. King Newborn, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
Peace, peace, peace. This is King Newborn. You can follow me on all social media platforms at Newborn Everything. Also, if we get a chance, shoot over to our Facebook page at things that people don't want to talk about. I know we didn't disclose that at the beginning, but we got it. Yeah, see, yeah, we got it. Yeah.
See, we winging it.
But yeah, follow me on all social media platforms, and please like, share, comment, subscribe to God Level podcast. As always, I am of service.
Diamond, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
I am Sabah Diamin, teacher, life coach, nutritionist, personal trainer, father, entrepreneur, owner and founder of the Abodable Star Institute of Personal Excellence. So
Salute.
we are now in full swing. We got courses for your
Mm.
development, um, whatever it is that you're reaching for, that highest potential of yourself. This is the institution to come and learn what that is, what that looks like, and how to get there. Please reach out to me on Facebook at Saba Diamin, and actually set Sabadiam and Demir, and then you'll send me a DM, and I'll hook you up with my last year's class of Meeting of the Masters. It was a 9 months course. We are starting this year's course on the 18th of this month, and but the prerequisite is last year's course. So you got to go through the videos and everything from last year's course in order to hook up to this course. All right, just reach out to me, and I'll give you that link, and then you can go ahead and purchase the course and get with it. So be ready for an elevation in self-mastery. Hetepu.
You are starting on my birthday.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's wonderful. All right, that was a side note. Before we move forward, we have a special guest here with us this evening. Her name is Coach
Rakia.
Rukia. I was getting ready to say it wrong. That's why I needed you to say it for me. She deals with credit repair, budgeting, and investing. She will be promoting her service to the community. And then after that, she's going to hang back and be our special guest for the show. You want to go ahead and tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Yes, hi everyone. Greetings. Nice to be here. I am Coach Rakia _the Creditnista on Instagram, the Creditnista on TikTok, Sister Rakia Polk on Facebook. As you can see through the flyers, I am a financial and credit coach. I offer a 8-week program in our local library to help low income families get better with their money. I have been in this industry for over 10 years. Again, I'm certified as a financial health counselor, a credit score consultant, and a financial literacy educator. And I'm just completing my course in trauma of money, so I'll be able to facilitate that as well.
Did you say trauma and money?
Trauma of money.
Trauma of money. Okay.
Ooh, talk about it. Talk about it. Sound like poor money.
Does this tie into the money story?
This will tie into the money story. It goes a little bit deeper into the background of your money journey. So way back when you were in school, when you were with your parents, how they dealt with money. I even posted something today as far as children being bullied, embarrassed, or shamed for not having money, even though they have no hand in, their money situation. But children learn that from somewhere. They go to school and they shame other children for not having. And it's totally out of their control. So it goes into that.
Like another mental health topic.
Yeah. Look at that, because like I said, that was my story, childhood story. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that sounds like a mental health. You're on Facebook, correct?
I am on Facebook. Facebook is Sis Rakia Polk. And you all can hit me up in any of the platforms, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, and hit the link in my bio to get in contact with me, or even just send me a personal DM.
Got you. Now, are you running are these online courses or classes or workshops that you're doing?
It's in the library one is in person. I do have one-on-ones online, and I have a Money Matters, a 28-day challenge for parents and children to build financial confidence together. That's a 28-day program started on the 1st of February. So we're run the course until the end. That morphed into something else. I had just completed a companion workbook to go with that. So I'll put that out there sooner than later.
Ooh-wee. I admire you because I know the work that goes into that.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Oh, and also before I finish, I do have a Etsy store. Life is Golden Boutique, where I have planners available. I have journals available, positive affirmations for adults and children, and there are some greeting cards with a representation on them because going to the store, they just started putting us on our images on things, so I created some for us as well. So if you guys can go to the Etsy store, Life is Golden Boutique, that would be great.
Life is Golden Boutique.
And what's that? Say that website again.
It's on Etsy. Life is Golden Boutique.
Spell that for me.
LifeisGoldenBoutique. Life is Golden Boutique on Etsy.
All right. I just posted you on our group page as under our special guest tonight. Sis Rokia Polk, money mindset coach. If you need help with your finances, check this sister out. She will help get you on the right track. A lot of us that grew up in the hood, we didn't come up learning about money. We came up learning how to spend it, and when you didn't have it, and also just how to get it, just so you can show that you have it.
Right.
That was the mindset. I grew up in the late 80s, back when a certain drug hit the street, and that seemed to be like the big thing. And you go from living that fast lifestyle, and then you hit a brick wall. So you go from
Well, that credit system wasn't as prominent back in the early 80s as it was getting towards the 90s. So that's part of the reason why, because you have to understand the credit system came into play as a response of blurring the lines of redlining.
Right.
So then that's why they brought in the credit system. It's another form of redlining. That's all it is.
There is bias in the credit reporting system as well. Yes.
Absolutely.
Ooh, break that down.
Did you cough on me? He coughed on me.
Oh no, I had a tickle in my throat.
Yeah, okay.
You probably just got done eating a chicken leg, so there's probably.
I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that.
I'm hungry right now.
The point I was trying to make is nobody grew up learning anything about money.
Was not the talk in our household.
Poverty, different people, backgrounds, different situations, but we didn't learn anything about money.
And I want a lot of people to understand too that though budgeting is a great tool, we cannot budget ourselves out of poverty. It starts with the mindset first and foremost, and increasing our income and learning to budget what we have. So when we get more, we'll budget as well. Just like you said, we didn't learn this in school. A lot of times we didn't learn it at home either. We know how to get it, we know how to spend it, but our relationship with it isn't healthy. A lot of us have a scarcity mindset. When we get it, we have to spend it immediately, or we hoard it because we don't want to be without it anymore. A lot of that goes into.
Can you tell them about the 70 10 10 10 10 rule real quick?
Absolutely. So that's my bias. That's my favorite money rule. I talk about it all the time. So the 70 10 10 10 money rule goes like this. You allocate your income, your paycheck each month to 4 accounts. So 70% will go to your spending. That will be day-to-day activities, right? Okay. 10% will go to active investing. 10% will go to passive investing. Passive investing would be more like long-term savings, and you'll have your givings or your tithes, because a lot of people are religious. So I say the most important one is the long-term investing, the passive investing, because that account can feed the other accounts, right? You have a return on your income. You put that ROI back in, use the principal or whatnot. Um, Another thing about that is the 10% of giving, the tithes. So a lot of us will give what we do not have. And that's one of my biggest pet peeves. Us. Oh my gosh. So
Yes.
in this account, if you don't have anything to give, you don't have anything to give. You will not be lying if someone came up to you and said, do you have a certain amount of money? I need it. If you don't have it in that account, but you have it in other accounts, no, you don't have it. We're not going to spend what we do not have.
Okay.
We're not going to pay, borrow from Paul to pay Peter. And you know how that cycle goes. We're not going to do that.
Exactly.
And with that account too, it's the more of a spiritual account, because we're giving without the expectation of receiving back. But when we have that set with our income, there's always going to be something in that account, period. And with that system, you're never going to be broke. You're just not going to be broke. You're living below your means. You're investing, you're saving, and you're giving. So thank you for asking me about that.
Yeah. I was actually going to ask you the importance, because, instead of when you mentioned about budgeting, but, what was your views and attitude towards investing, finding viable investing, especially when we're talking about creating generational wealth, improving for those that come after us and things like that, but investing in some way. So so that was, and I think you kind of answered that just now. So that was cool.
So there is the active investing, which I would put more towards day trading, things of that nature, short-term trading. And then you have your passive investing, which would be longer term. That can be your life insurance. People, I love you to life. Please get life insurance for you and your family. Thank you. You can borrow against that if you have whole life insurance, but that is an investment as well. I guess that would be more like the good debt as well, because you have your house, income property or whatnot. And it just goes on from there. I can go more into detail later. But yeah, that's basically what it is. 70, 10, 10, 10 money rule.
Okay. So we could say that investing is anytime your money is working for you.
Anytime your money.
More.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yes. Excellent. It looks like we're going to have her back, because I know we're going to hit, sometime this year, we're going to talk about financial literacy. So just don't fill your calendar up, Coach. All right.
Okay.
I say.
Do we have any more questions for Coach Rukia? I said it right this time.
Yes, you did. Thank you.
All right. I guess we can go ahead and get started with tonight's topic.
Before you jump into that, can we get some acknowledgement on that iHeart Radio?
What do you mean?
No,
like, I know that we're on there.
We're on there? Oh, okay.
Yeah, like
we're on
the
there?
last 25 episodes that we have. I'm sorry, 41. The last 41 episodes are on iHeartRadio right now under things people don't want to talk about.
So you're saying we are officially
on iHeartRadio. Yeah.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you. So when I
say it one more time.
We are officially on iHeartRadio.
Is that a tough criteria to meet?
I don't know, but it was a waiting period. You have to submit your podcast, and then it was approved. So we were approved And I was just, and everything that we've done since the 25th episode has been
Wow.
uploaded. So if you go
That
on
is
iHeartRadio,
beautiful.
yeah, and look us up, you can scroll down and see everything.
Consistency, huh?
And we,
Habits.
yeah,
Yeah, I like this.
and we were just talking about
Watch
it.
out there now.
Yeah.
You know, and we were just talking about it when we did our Zoom meeting, and I was like, "What y'all think?" Like, go for it. Next thing you know, a couple days later, here we are. You know, I like that. I like that. That
That's
represents
beautiful.
growth too as well. So I really do want to break that top 100.
Consistency.
All right. Give it some time. Give it some time. We're gonna be there. We just right now we the new blood that came up. So
Tapo.
but
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
but we
I'll
getting
take
there. We
that.
coming in strong.
I'll
We
take
coming
that.
in
I'll
strong.
take
Most
that.
there.
Yeah.
Most there. Someone said congratulations. I don't know who that is, and also
Thank
That is
you.
Quan said that. Quan
Quan.
said
Thank you,
Peace,
congratulations.
peace,
Quan.
peace, peace, Quan. Thank you, thank you,
Yes,
thank you.
Quan.
Appreciate that.
You know, she part
I
of the
said
tribe. We couldn't have did it without her as well.
that's right. That's right, Quan. Thank you so much for all that you contributed. And Love
Facts,
Sean is
facts.
on with us and
Absolutely.
sending
Peace, peace.
comments.
Um,
Yes.
Before we continue, I want to remind everyone that in celebration of Black History Month, we are posting a different Black business every day. And as of the first, I have posted a different business every day. So if you have a business, you want us to promote it, please send it to us so I can put it up for everyone to see. If you want to come on and promote your business and also be a special guest, I would
There
really
you go.
appreciate it. Yes.
How many people we got in the group so far right now?
Um, we're almost at 500.
We got some eyes then. Okay, we got
Almost
good.
at
We looking
500.
good. We looking good.
Yeah. And we just opened it up, what, in October?
Nice.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you're watching this, you part of the tribe, the community. Please help us build this culture up. You know, like,
Yes.
share,
Yes.
comment, send it to a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend, and like God Love just stated, we are currently now on iHeartRadio.
Yes.
That's a big deal, huh?
Yeah,
Mhm.
You know,
we
I
look
try not to
great to
get a
the
big head
pond.
about anything. Like,
Oh,
okay, we on iHeart. I did that. Okay, you know we did that. Like, and move on to the next thing. Like when they did send the email, I was excited. I was waiting on you to come on before I told the whole group. Like, we are officially
yeah,
on iHeart Radio. Like,
She sure did. She said, I got some good news.
she
yes,
did.
I
Yeah.
was
Watch
so
out now.
excited because we had just talked about it. Like the affirmations, manifestations, boom. You did a little bit of work, bam, it came right on through.
There it is.
Every story has a beginning. Every
Absolutely.
story has a beginning.
Yes, it does. And Diamonds
That's
tonight is
right.
going to talk about our beginning.
That's right. We're
There
gonna
you
talk about our
go.
beginning.
Look how you just rolled into that origins.
Isn't she, ain't she smooth? Like they
So
said, well, you
smooth.
you can't slick a can of oil. You can't you can't drown a drop of water.
Right.
I
Hey,
am winging
John,
it.
that was a bar. John, that was a bar.
It
I said.
was.
So getting into our topic for for today, of course, you know, as you all know, that we are into in our first weekend into Black History Month, and
Mhm.
given all of this time, as I said, we've been now since the Emancipation Proclamation that freed the slaves. Well, in its supposed going active, it was 1863. Since then, it's been about 157 years that we've been out of slavery. And fully out of slavery for about 148 years. That's not a whole lot of time. So we've
At all.
that's only a few, or just several generations, out, and we are still climbing our way to a complete, at least, equality and freedom from oppressive situations, and situations that actually marginalizes us as a people. And there is always a reason why this is happening, and we're gonna get into some of that. But as we started this Black History Month thing, years ago, of course, we know that they gave us the shortest month to talk about our history, but also the topics have always surrounded around slavery. It's always surrounded around post-slavery contributions and things like that. And we've highlighted pretty much the same people all over again. We've heard about the Martin Luther Kings and the Malcolm X's, the Medgar Evers, and so forth. We've heard about them, the Marcus Garveys, and I don't mind talking about them over and over, because they've done some great work. And but did you know that we have a history, because we are a people that are millions of years old. So our history didn't just begin 400, 500 years ago. You understand? So who were we then? What's our true history? When we cannot talk about our history, is not the hardships that we went through as a culture. Our history is the history that made us so great. Why did the world come after us? Why did the West world come after us? That's our history. So we go back into ancient times. We go back into the Black civilizations of the Nile Valley region. And now we can talk about a true history. Now we can actually reach back to see our greatness, and to use that greatness, that recorded greatness, and to apply to ourselves today. This is the only way that we're going to bounce back and get back on our feet. It's the only way to transcend current oppressive situations by this Western society. All right, y'all with me on that? Now,
keep going.
So today we're talking about the origins and history of Black ethics. Now, what are we talking about when we're talking about Black ethics? We're talking about the way we behave, the way we interact with one another, and you have to understand it goes beyond just so we don't go to jail. Okay, it goes beyond that. It goes beyond doing right by each other just so we don't end up or get in trouble, and so forth. We have to understand that we have a history of being great and good people. When I say good, I mean good by nature. Our nature is good. Our nature is loving. Our nature is divine. All right. So what I want to share with you guys in the beginning here, and just to get the ball rolling, I'm going to establish that I'm going to take you all the way back to the beginning, before the beginning, and just to show you where that goodness comes from. And then we're going to talk about how that was exemplified and taken into civilization, and who was the representative and so forth of it. So I'm going to share a screen real quick. And I know a lot of this is going to be probably news to a lot of people. So it's okay. That's why I want your questions to stem from, because this is ancient Kemetic history. All right. So we're going to see why that was such an important land. All right. So let me figure out again. I keep forgetting. I need to share screen more on this thing, because I always know how to do it. Okay. So present. Let me hit that. And share screen. All right, hold on. Let's do a window then. Okay, here we go. There we go. That's it. All right, let me share that. All right, so we have what we call the Nun, and sometimes you said it's spelled NWN, and the W actually has a U sound in the Medu Neter. The Medu Neter is the we're talking about the transliteration, is this phonetic sound a complement of the what people know to be the hieroglyphs. Okay, so we actually added some phonetic sounds to it. Now, this is what Theophilo Banga, from his book African Philosophy, the Pharaonic Period, from 2780 to 33 BC, 330 BC. This is what he said about the Nun. He said the beginning of all beginnings was Nun. This was the name given to the primal absolute mass of water, container of all seed, home to all creative potential. This was a sort of all-encompassing ocean existing before any form of life known to us. It predated all motion as we understand it. It was reality before the universe we know, already pregnant with the raw material of creation in a latent state. Here was the chaotic medium of incipient forms, the unshaped pre-temporal manifestation of the creator God. All right. So this is basically this is the origins of us. And within this, I'm going to show you what was actually inside of this as well. Let me get my bearings here. All right. So here, let me see, it's a little jerky on my end. Is that jerky to you guys, or is it smooth?
It's smooth. It's just
Okay.
moving.
It's just moving, right? I'm just making sure it's not like jerky. It's jerky on my side. But
John, you muted. Okay.
Okay. So what we have here within Nun, what we have is within the primal waters, which is what Nun is, right? And in these primeval waters, we had some qualities. Now, if you want to know what that masculine and feminine, or the masculine and feminine energies were, they began here. They were already here, expressed as Nu, Hu, Kuk, and Amun. Okay, that was the masculine side of it, and they had feminine counterparts. Now, Net, Hauhet, Kauket, and Amunet. Now, these were qualities already there. They were in resonant frequency with one another. So that masculine and feminine principle had not yet differentiated. In other words, they had not separated. So this is why that watery mass was there. Now, let me show you what these things stood for at this time. So Nun, or we call it Nu as well, Nu or Nun, was the formless, undifferentiated primal matter. Within it was inert energy. All right. And his counterpart, Naunet, was the potential of form, differentiation, material, energy, in motion. So they were counterparts. They were complementary to one another. All right. Then we have Hu representing eternity, and his counterpart representing infinity. So eternity dealing with our existence. We are eternal beings. And infinity is when the beings come into a space where time exists. Then we are also infinite. You understand? Going on and on forever, like the space of the Nun itself. And Kuk was darkness. Kuk and Kauket, they both was darkness, but Kuk actually represented in elephantine, was brought into an understanding to represent the darkness, the hours of darkness before the sunrise or before dawn. Okay. Whereas Kauket represented darkness just past dusk or after sunset. And this was important because the sun traversing the sky, which they saw, which was the essence of Ra, that rises, and then he goes into the to the underworld, the dark world, and during after sunset. And this is how he was actually protected and aided. And then Amun, or this is where the word Amen comes from, was hidden and imperceptible, and Amunet was concealed and expressed. Okay, still concealed, still hidden, but also there's an expression. So there's some sort of an experience with that hidden aspect. Okay, which when you experience the God in me, or you feel my vibration, that is the Amun aspect of you. You understand? So so now what we're looking at then is, as I said before, so the masculine aspects, as we can see here in this particular picture, and this is on the walls of the temples. And so we have the male aspects are the frog-headed beings that you see here. So we can see the frog-headed, and the feminine aspects are the snakes. They're the snake-headed. And there's a reason why the feminine are the snake-headed. So snakes always represent moving energy. It represents creation, rebirth, regeneration, and so forth that comes from the feminine aspect. All right. Now, mind you, here we're not talking about man and woman. We're not talking about male and female, but we're talking about masculine and feminine. Okay. Energies in the polar realm. Now, also, so these are the energies, especially that Amun and Amunet. That is also, that imperceptibility represents our peace, our nature of peace. Okay. And they also say that the waters of Nun was chaotic, and chaotic just means without form. It doesn't mean it was violent or anything. It just means it was without form. And it makes sense because nothing had yet been created. No forms had taken place yet, right? And so now looking at the anatomy of Unter's Nun, we have, so within Nun, there was a consciousness. There was a consciousness, right? An awareness of itself, and it was aware of the material around it. And that was named Atum. Okay, they're in Waset or Thebes or Luxor. It was named Atum. They gave that name to that awareness. Then and that became our consciousness, of course. And also it had the ability to will or to intend. Okay, and that itself, in this very nature. So in consciousness, the aspect of consciousness brought about the male aspect of it, right? So in consciousness was the male aspect, and the will was the female aspects. Okay, so we have the being itself, which is Atum. Now I want you to pay attention to this. The being is Atum right now on its own, not yet differentiated, not yet dispersed into a myriad of forms. Okay, then we have the self. It is characteristics of self. What it could do, it was conscious, and it also could will. Willing was its superpower. And then its attributes were its own spirit. These are the parts of itself that mobilize its ability to bring things into manifestation. All right. So then as we go down to Atum's Ennead, so the Ennead just means 8. It means 9. Before the 8 that we looked at was called the Ogdoad. So this is the 9. So now Atum is now ready for creation, is ready to create the universe. Okay. And then, so there was Atum who begat Tefnut and also Shu. So Shu and Tefnut represents the air. Shu represents the air. Tefnut represents the moisture within the air. Okay. So they are husband and wife. And then they gave birth to Nut, which is the heavens, the sky. Okay, what we call space. And also there was Geb, the earth. Okay, so everybody always look at it, they say Mother Earth, but earth itself, according to the ancient Kemetu, earth was a masculine personification, not a feminine. Okay, it wasn't feminine, so it wasn't Mother Earth, it was Father Earth. All right, and this is, and remember, we're talking about millions, but hundreds of thousands of years ago. And between the two, Nut and Geb gave birth to Osar being their firstborn. And then there was Heru Kent or Heru and there was Set, Aset, and also Nbet Het. So these are the 5 children. Now, these what we're seeing so far are literally forces of nature. And these 5 forces of nature, now mankind has taken on these attributes of these 5 forces of nature. All right. So they reside within each one of us. They become the 5 divine faculties within all of mankind. All right. So let's see where I'm at on that. All right. So I don't want to get too far on this, and because this was a part of another presentation. So let me stop sharing my screen because y'all don't need to get into that part. Okay. Yeah, you don't need to get into that part. I just wanted to show y'all that aspect of it. But what I'm saying is everything that was from none, what we have to understand is that it's those qualities within none, the peace, in those masculine and feminine aspects that actually allowed us to manifest with those qualities intact within our beings. All right. So we are good by nature, and we come from that good. We come from peace. We come from unity and resonant frequency. We come from oneness, and we are attuned. We are the myriad expressions of Atum. But Atum took many forms between its realization of itself into the creation of man. It took on the form of Ra, Kepra. It became Atum Ra. It became Atum Kepra Ra. It became Ptah. It became so many others. And all those are just different aspects of its abilities, you see. And now we are, let me get this thing off of here because now I'm not. All right, there we go. So now we are literally at a point to where we're expressing this good. Now, this is the reason why I want to go into what we're going to be talking about in pre-dynastic Kemet, or pre-dynastic, even in the Nile Valley region, before Kemet was even there founded. We had Kush, we had Elam, we had Mohenjo-daro, we had Sumer, we had all these different nations, and everybody in those nations literally understood that there was a balance to keep. There was a balance to keep, and that balance came through mankind. Mankind became the guardians of this particular logos of this planet. And so that even at that time, there was, right now historically and also archaeologically proven, that it was black folks. Okay, the people at that time were heavily melanated. Okay, they were black folks. This is what the archaeological evidence proves, undoubtedly. In fact, Sheikh Anta Diop and also Theophilo Banga have done a great work in refuting the Egyptologists, who was a society of Western white men who were trying to whitewash the history of this Nile Valley civilization. And now they want to take the claims of all the great work that was done, and they try to whitewash it. So now if you see, we grew up looking at a lot of these movies and stuff that depicted ancient Egypt, but you saw all white characters.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was not the truth. So we start thinking that this is what it was. And then not only that, but even in my books, from books written by E.A. Wallace Budge, which is the Per Imheru, or he named the Book of the Dead. And again, that's their misunderstanding, call it the Book of the Dead. You could see, once you start reading, you can see how they were so prejudiced. They literally labeled us as heathens and all this other stuff. And understand the Greek philosophers, the so-called Greek philosophers, each one of them had gone to ancient Kemet to learn what they learned from Pythagoras. So we all took geometry to the Pythagoras theorem and so forth. But that Pythagoras didn't come up with that. He learned that from the blacks in Egypt, in ancient Egypt. You see, Plato and Aristotle, all of their philosophical work came from the blacks in Egypt. In fact, none of them did any writing themselves. They literally, with the help of Alexander the Greek, and I call him the Greek, not the Great, but Alexander the Greek, who was able to go and conquer the libraries and sacred schools of mysticism in Egypt, and he took or stole those writings and then issued them out to Aristotle and all these other, and said, claim these as your own. And that's what they did. And so this is where, like, Copernicus being the astronaut, father of astronomy, and Hippocrates being the father of medicine. We got doctrines. You go back and look at the Edwin papyrus, look at the Ebers papyrus. These things are thousands and thousands of years before Greek civilization, and these are the oldest medical records on the planet, oldest ones on the planet. Okay, we were already figuring those things out, and we talking about things from surgery, very complex surgery, to fixing fractures, heart attacks, all that kind of stuff, and all the stuff was dealt with then, thousands of years before Greek civilization. So we know, and I'm just saying all this to establish. This is why I called it Black ethics. So these were Black people, without a doubt. Okay. Now, if anybody got any, if nobody's convinced of that, please ask the questions. We can have a conversation. And because I got more to give, and that I just want to spend all day on it, because we got to get back to, the ethics. We got to get back to the history of us being good people. But first, we have to look at how were we viewed today. We're viewed as savages. We go in the predominant Black neighborhoods, and we see that there's a higher crime rate in those areas, and we see how we're still being treated brutally by police, because we pose a threat to them just with our physical existence, our physical presence. We pose a threat, especially Black men. But what they don't realize is that those that they have demonized, we are not the ones that they need to be worried about. In fact, another white scholar, European scholar, said that the most dangerous person on the earth is the white man. That's what he said. There was a white person saying that. And he went on to name all of the atrocities brought forth in the history of mankind from white folks. So I'm just saying, and this is not by no means am I being biased. I'm just stating historical facts. That's it. You can do with that what you want. All right. But all I'm here, I just want to point out the good nature and the inherent nature of our Black people. We are inherently good by nature. And I think it's because of this that we have a problem today, getting along with each other. We have a problem because we didn't know that we were already good. In our greatest presentation in the history of mankind, we talk about the monuments that they still drool over today was created by the good people. We were in harmony. There was no slaves that built the pyramids. There was a harmonious community working together to make sure it happened. Do you understand? There was no slaves, and this is how you know this. See, there was a certain principle that they all lived by, and the pyramids was built. They date back to about the 5th or 6th dynasty in the first in Old Kingdom, right? But let's go back to the first dynasty. The first pharaoh of the first dynasty was Narmer, and Narmer himself was one that actually brought he brought Upper and Lower Kemet together, Upper and Lower Egypt together. Upper Egypt was actually south. Lower Egypt was north. Okay, and that confused a lot of people because that map we've been looking at is upside down. This is why. Okay, you got to turn it up right. All right. So what we're looking at in Upper Kemet was actually higher elevation. But so what happened was he actually had to bring those two lands together to create what we call Smitawi, the beloved land. And then he became the first Nasutpati. Nasutpati is the word that we say instead of Pharaoh. Pharaoh is a Greek word. You see, now I know most people have not even heard of Nasutpati. Mm-hmm. How do I know this? I see this straight from the so-called hieroglyphs, from the Moneta Netra myself. So, because I can read them. And it says Nasutpati. It does not say Pharaoh. All right. So when we look at that, and in order for them to be a Nasut Pati, they had to be the ruler of both Upper and Lower Kemet. Now, in bringing this together, he also brought the cult. And this is, again, when I say cult, I'm using a European word, but I'm doing that to be relative. But he brought the cult of Heru, or what they would call Horus. All right. And now with this, you have to understand who Heru is and what Heru represents. Now, remember, from even in pre-dynastic times, we have the story of Osar, Set, Aset, which is Osar's wife, and also Heru being born, right? Eventually. But Set being the aspect of us that can cause chaos and evil and wrongdoing and things like that, if not kept in the balance. Set works from our ego. Okay. When that's out of balance, then our divine self, which is represented by Osar, then gets if we allow this, if we keep feeding that ego, then it literally usurps the kingdom. The kingdom can be the body and also the mind, right? So that kingdom now is overtaken by our Setian quality. Then our Osirian self, our divine self, is now lost, cut into pieces, and spread out all over the land. So we don't know where it is, and we have to remember ourselves. We have to remember who we truly are. And it's about bringing the members of the body of Osar back together, right? So we have to remember it, bring them back together, and put ourselves back together. Now that can only be done by his counterpart, Aset, which is still our now Aset is a very, very powerful. Very powerful. Look up the Isis temple in Philae. Y'all look that up, and you'll understand just how powerful Aset. Now, Aset was the first. Derived from Aset was Mary. Okay, Mary, Jesus's mom, and also Jesus's supposed wife later, which is Mary Magdalene. The word Mary itself is a Kemetic word. Meri, that means beloved, the beloved. So that's where that word comes from. And so this was later transcribed into Christian text to be Mary, the mother of Jesus, but the mother of Jesus was the Mary or the beloved Aset. All right. Now, and that goes on to say that what she did, all the sacrifices she made, because it was by any means necessary, that faculty that represents Aset within us, which is still our emotional faculty, and it's still our ability to go deep into ourselves to see who we truly are, to be connected to who we truly are, and only to work for the good, for the resurrection and to the remembering of our divine self. So then in doing that, she immaculately became impregnated with Heru. After putting Osar's body parts back together, she also became pregnant with Heru. At that time, Heru is now the son who is going to usurp the throne, because once Osar was put back together, he was sent to the underworld to rule in the underworld. Now Heru is to rule in the upper world, which is the world we live in. But Heru lives in each one of us, and he's still struggling to sit on the throne. So this cult of Heru that was brought in by Narmer and all of the kings or the Nasut of the first dynasty, it was about the realization that we are to live in a good way. So restoring or to bringing back and realizing these principles of morality that we call Ma'at. Mm-hmm. So living in alignment with Ma'at, that was the key. The thing about the Nasut Pati, or the king or the ruler on the throne, he had to be the poster child for living righteousness, for living upright, for living truth, for living in order, for being at peace, for having a good heart and doing right towards people, towards everybody. And everybody else was meant to emulate the Nasut. All right. Everybody was supposed to emulate the Nasut. So they had to be good natured as well, just like the Nasut Pati is. And the Nasipati was emulating Osar. Okay, a divine something on the throne, divine one sitting on the throne in charge of all of the all of mankind. And remember, now this also in pre-didactic times, what they said was from 6000 BCE to 3150 BCE. That's about 3,000 years, give or take a few thousand. Okay, it's about 3,000 years of nothing but peace of between black folks. Okay, between black folks. Now, here's the thing, that as these dynasties, especially as the first dynasty came to an end, what was happening was there was a decline in the understanding and operation of these Ma'atian principles. So it created what's called the first intermediate period, where there was imbalance. Then they had to go and somebody had to come along and reestablish those principles yet again, and that's what kicked off the second dynasty. So it was another family that actually kicked off the second dynasty. So, but we're still in the Old Kingdom, right? So as we move all the way to fast forward all the way to the 18th dynasty, which is Middle Kingdom. Okay, well, this is going to be a New Kingdom in the 18th dynasty. This is when King Tutankhamun, so King Tut, his father Akhenaten, his father Ramesses III, and so forth. This is when all of them rule. When you see Queen Tai, who's the grandmother of King Tut, and so when you see all of them, this is the 18th dynasty. Hatshepsut, this is 18th dynasty, right? So right when Hatshepsut came in, she was fighting off a group of people called the Hyksos.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the Hyksos. Now these Hyksos had come in, and their king, their ruler, when they had the brief time when they conquered ancient Kemet, their king had named himself Apepi the First. Apep is the arch enemy of Osar and Ra. So he literally took the name of the most evil and vile thing that you can think of. He took the name of it and set himself down on the throne. So you know he was going against. So he came to go against the good that was already there established to further bring confusion to the land. And so thankfully they were able to get him up off there. Now that Hatshepsut didn't play about it. She couldn't stand the Hyksos. So she did everything she could as a warrior, as a queen warrior, went out and chopped heads off and everything. They got to get up out of here and then reestablish order back in the land. And that order again was falling back upon the Ma'atian standards. Now here's what happened. Even at that time, now we're talking about we're talking about 1,500 to 2,000 years later. All right, they still went back and fetched the doctrines from the first kingdom, from the first dynasty. I'm sorry, from the Old Kingdom, and brought those doctrines. So they went back to the pyramid text, back to the coffin text, and this is when they established what they call the autobiographies. Autobiographies became the almost like a eulogy that they want to be read. So they want to say, I'm going to write down and track my behavior and show that I am good, I am righteous and everything. So somebody can read this back upon my death. So, and that became what they call the Book of the Dead. The Book of the Dead, because they found these things written among the dead. They found it among the dead, but these were venerations. These were what they call the declarations of innocence, the declarations of virtues. You know, so virtue saying that I acted to bring good into the world, and the declarations of innocence saying that I acted and I refrained from enacting in any kind of evil deeds. You see, so this was a people. Now, people who live this way, who this is their culture, and we're saying every day was living spiritual for them, because everything in their mind, and like I said, we can go through the history And I hope I ain't got to go through all that to convince you that these were convincing, these were good people. They were good people,
Right.
so much so to where it's almost like we go to church to get this level of adherence to our divine selves. They lived this every single day, all day. It wasn't about they went through the temples were their spiritual training. They didn't have churches. They didn't go to church every Sunday and praise the Lord. No. This was their way of living. They had initiations. This is what those schools of mysticism is based off of. You see, all of the schools, the lodges, all of the even the stuff that we don't know, because when they go there and they pillage and desecrate the lands of Egypt today, they take from there before they even let you know what's going on. They take all the good secret stuff. So there were great initiations, spiritual initiations that they had to embark upon. We talk about initiation to where even to present your art with the public. You couldn't even show if you sung or if you played an instrument, you could not do that to the public without being spiritually initiated. You had to prove yourself. You had to register your gifts, okay, with the Nasut to make sure, because they understand how powerful art is. And we're gonna be talking about that next time, So they understood how powerful and how influential art is. So they was like, well, we can't allow you to mess up the minds and skew the minds of the masses. So we need this art to be approved. So whether it's theater, whether it was music, whether it was visual art, you could not display that with the public without an initiation. Okay, you couldn't do it. So that's how good these people were. Then I mean, ask you something. Do you think that these people were capable of having a whole race of slaves? Do you think that they would be the ones doing something when there was only one word that denoted man and God? That word was not separate. It was one word. Unter. In the Bantu language, it was Muntu. When they spoke to you and they said they spoke to you as a human, they call you Muntu. When they referred to God the Creator, they said Muntu. So they see this as no different. Do you think this society of black folks would ever treat who they deem to be God as a slave? They would never do that.
I just want to say this real fast. I'm sorry, I got to interject real quick.
Go for it.
I just want to. I've been burned up over here. What you just spoke of is what they call the second coming of the Son. I ain't gonna say no more because that can go real deep. But what you just broke down was what they've been waiting for: the second coming of the Son.
Well, let me tell you, you are the second coming of the Son.
Yes.
You, all of us, we are the second coming of the Son.
Good over here.
No, go on and say
no. I'm taking notes over here, even from the beginning. I love how
you talking it. You talking it.
Yes.
That's you.
Man, that understanding is so beautiful, man. They separated us from the divine order. And we took it and we ran with it. We so lost, man. We so lost.
Well, you know what? But I can say, but we have to talk about. Yes, we are lost. In fact, we are out of our dang on minds.
Facts.
We are out of our dang on minds, and our minds. So just like they did in the 18th dynasty, that was after the second intermediate period, by the way. After the third intermediate period. So we had 3 intermediate periods. I would say today we're still in our 4th intermediate period. We're still in our 4th, and then we've been in this intermediate period for a long time. But each time after an intermediate period, they had to go back and recalibrate their minds and hearts by going back to the old kingdom, going back before everything fell apart, going to remind themselves of what living these Ma'atian ethics looked like. Because as they got further and further into these further dynasties and things, we had so many invaders. We had the Persians, we had the Hyksos, the Persians, the Greeks, and the Romans to come in, and then we lost it. We never found our way back ever since they came into play. Never found our way back. You know, we saw in Africa, in fact, especially the Nile Valley region, got dispersed. We start moving down to southern and western Africa, and start moving all around while they took over those kind of lands. And this is why they tried to tell you in the beginning that Egypt is not part of Africa. Yes, it is. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to look at the dang on map and see that that's a country on the continent of Africa. You know. And so they try to claim all of that again, pull it away. And but no, they don't want to acknowledge you for your greatness. They're trying to establish you as savages. They want to have a reason to keep treating you as nothing more than slaves, livestock, and people who they can actually marginalize at will, because they're trying to convince everybody else that you're just not good people. We have a history of being good. We have a history of being divine. We have a history of that. And that is to be resurrected through you. They ain't gonna know no other way. So if you want to get out of this oppressive situation, transcend it by getting back to your natural mind. So that's the key. That is the absolute key. So this is our history of being good. We have a whole history of it. And even as we come forward, that's why when we came here to America through the Ma'afa and Reconstruction, went through all of that, and all we asked was for equality. We didn't try to dominate. We asked for equality. You see, it's because we're good people. We trying to just bring balance to the world, and this is something that we need to come together and do. You know, and we do this by, again, being active and being virtuous and bringing good into our communities. We got to start with each other. Let's start treating each other like we come from, like our ancestors were divine, good people. And when I say divine, I mean very powerful. We don't act right from a mundane earthly level. We are very powerful spiritual people.
Let me speak to that real quick, if you don't mind.
Go right ahead. Look, she's waiting. Go ahead.
I have. Oh my goodness, you hit on so much, and you just helped me go back into my history, because I'm really, really familiar with everything that you're talking about. Mm-hmm. And the question that keeps coming to mind is like the why. Why do they want the rest of the world to see us as beasts? To see us as other than we are? And then it brings me back to Nelly Fuller Jr., how he says that our 8 or 9 activities of life, right? Education, entertainment, labor, law, and it's not all of them though, but how they interject those into our way of life to keep us away from our true being.
I say, yes.
All of that. So but we innately, we know that we are better than what they say that we are. Mm-hmm. And it's that inner conflict of being the greatness, however, living in this, as we say, the wilderness of North America. It's a struggle, but it's definitely within us to rise above this.
Absolutely. As we've tried so many times, right?
Absolutely right, and we know this, and you know, this is Black History Month, and as you said before, they always want to start us post. They also want to start us with the slavery, and then from there on, but they don't want to take us back prior to that. Just okay, I did this. This blood runs in my veins. I can resurrect this. What? No, they have to keep us dumbed down.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and that's the thing. Exactly.
Fear.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, even besides that, they keep us rooted in our the part of our being that's that can only be identified through the 5 senses. Mm-hmm. Okay.
True.
Only be identified through the 5 senses. So there, we can only identify things through smell, touch, taste, sight, and hearing. Right. And as if and before then we were attuned to things way beyond that,
right?
Way beyond that, which is why we use this. We talking about the Neolithic and Paleolithic eras. supposed to be the Stone Age. But if we look back, they were privy to high science even at that time. Electromagnetism, they already had a mapping out of the cosmos at that time, an accurate mapping out with no telescopes on the planet.
Right.
Yeah.
With no telescopes on the planet.
Yeah.
So they're trying to make you think that Neolithic era, that Stone Age, they had just chisels and some fire. And like you couldn't have made the pyramids. Y'all had aliens coming to help you. No, we didn't.
Right.
No, we did not.
We can't do anything. We had to call in from other.
Come on. I'm just saying. No, not at all. So this is what I'm saying is, but before you can reconnect with that, they want to make sure that they disrupt your ability. So they got you living every day worried about where your next bill, if your next bills are going to be paid.
Low
So
vibrational
they constantly keep us in survival mode. Then they use your celebrities who look like you to keep confusing you with the music and the images that we see on movies. You have to understand that this is, when you're talking about being under a spell, you're talking about some magic, some voodoo being put against you. That's what that is. That voodoo comes from Hollywood.
Yes.
It comes from Hollywood. And they are intentionally destabilizing you, so you'll never know how good you really are.
Right.
And trust me, you are good. You are good.
You acknowledge who you are. It's a wrap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a wrap. Ain't no stopping you.
I just want to point this out. You Diamond made a point. I don't know if y'all noticed the G on God level is backwards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
Looking
already-
back,
Mm-hmm.
so we know how to move forward.
Oh,
There we
facts.
go.
That's
The only way to
why I
do
did
that,
it.
you gotta know who you
The
are.
Sankofa.
though.
That's why I
You
did
gotta
it.
know who
Sankofa,
you are.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
exactly
you
what it
gotta
is.
know who you are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Looking back past the last 400 or 500 years, they don't want to tell us about the dynasties that we had. They don't want to tell us that we had the first university. They don't want to tell us that people was coming from all over the world just to learn what we already knew.
To come study.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They don't
And give it back to us as new.
Ooh.
And I that always comes to mind when I was a birth worker. I was a doula and a midwifery student. And these other people coming to us telling us breastfeeding is good, home birth is good. Well, we was doing this way before you guys.
Facts.
This was privilege, y'all. This was
yeah.
the necessity.
We did that to your children, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Our women breastfed their children.
The wet nurses.
Mm-hmm.
Because they couldn't. That was unheard of for a child to suckle from their breast. That was just savage. Having a baby at home was savage.
Well, I mean, you can look at the Black Madonna, but hey.
Well, but that's nothing more. That's nothing more than Aset. Did you know
Right.
that?
Yeah.
That's Aset, and that's Heru who's suckling.
Right.
Yes, sir.
And guess who is worshiping that? The Vatican.
Yeah.
That's who's.
Rome.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They said
And they tried to say that she's black because I think they said the sun burnt her or something.
a fire.
This is so crazy. It's so crazy because I saw in somebody's post in one of those stupid groups about the ancient times or what have you, and they had this statue of I forget who it was, but the statue was painted black, and they try to explain all these reasons why it was black, and it was supposed to be symbolic. I said no, it's black because that's how they saw themselves.
Fact.
That's why it's black.
Fact.
Because that's how they saw themselves. In fact, we look at the word Kim. Remember, it was called Kim.
Right, Kim.
Yeah, exactly. It means the black lands, and it ain't talking about the sand because the sand ain't black.
Nope.
You're talking about the people, the burnt-faced people.
And that was purity. It wasn't whiteness. It was the black.
It
Was the purity.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Because white to them that was evil, right? That coming back to it, right?
Everything has been reversed.
Yeah,
that was
black
death.
is pure. Yeah, black is pure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But remember that we always, we understood that too, that our death or transition, because they didn't believe in death.
They
It was just a
didn't.
transition. Yeah, going from one phase of our existence to the next. But that itself, yeah, that was all about preservation of the khat, which is the body, you know. And we already talked about that, how they leave the heart in the body and throw away the brain and so forth, all this stuff that we think will be useful. But no, they wanted to preserve the different other bodies that are a part of the sahu body, the ka, and the ba, and so they can merge and become the ak, which is the immortal spirit that you become in the next world. So they knew this. We have 5 different creation stories from antiquity in the same land by the same people, right? Different coasts of the same people in that same region. 5 different creation stories. They all agree on every aspect. The only thing that differs from one to the next might be the names changing. But they all knew that there was a consciousness that was sitting there in none. They all knew that there was a watery abyss. And scientists today have already they have proven that was true, that that's our origin. They proved that. And there was an article, and I probably should have brought that article, but they were in CERN when they smashed these particles together. That's what a Large Hadron Collider is. And when they smashed these particles together and they filmed it, and they had this high powered camera, and when these particles came together, normally all they could see was they would disappear. So they filmed it, and what they saw was the particles smashed together, they turned to liquid, and then they disappeared. So they saw the waters. They literally saw the waters that our Kemetic, in fact, everything that our Kemetic ancestors talked about, scientists is just now catching up with.
True that.
I say we are their AI. But we're not artificial, though. We are the original.
We're the data. We're the data from which they're getting how to develop their AI, of course.
Yes.
With all of this. So that's why I say just understand that you have a history. The most important part of your history is your goodness, is your rightness, your righteousness, your consciousness. And this is what you must remember in order to move forward in a healthy and prosperous way. But because we have to rise above this third dimensional mindset. We're so much, if we in a third dimension, our potential is 12. You can see how far away we are. See how far away we are? Our potential is 12th dimension. So you have to understand, and the only thing that separates you from the dimensions is your mindset. That's the only thing, because your mindset determines your vibration. We're vibrating at a third dimensional vibration.
Yes.
Very, very low vibration.
Yes.
We were not supposed to be here. Our ancestors were fifth and sixth dimension. The ones who left these documents, they were fifth and sixth dimension.
So they brought us down. Okay, I'm just looking at this. We weren't that far up, and they just brought us down to ground level.
Yeah, they sure did.
And anchored us here with the food, with the entertainment, the Hollywood, as you said,
that's it.
The actual magic.
So if you want to turn that around, you need to start elevating your mind. You have, and you got to stop taking in the stuff that's keeping you right where you are. And I'm trying to tell you what that is. We didn't already named it. It's this entertainment. Is you getting caught up in sports? Is all this stuff thinking that you're limited in any kind of way. You're not tapping into your natural abundance. your own belief systems about yourself is what's keeping your vibration rooted in such a low level.
Yeah, that too.
I was, there's a arena. There's no arena in Egypt. I don't remember ever seeing one.
We didn't have no need to compete against each other.
There was no. So they had these things they call the raising of the Jed, to where when the Nasut got old, then he had to read. So about every 60 years, he had to prove his worthiness to stay on the throne. And so, but it got to the point. So they called this the raising of the Jed, and so, but a lot of times what they end up doing is sending their sons to compete in their place. And it was a battle of strength and speed and so forth to make sure that his vitality, but it was not killing each other and stuff like that.
It wasn't like that.
It wasn't like that.
Yeah.
It was like
show and prove. That's
literally,
all it is.
and this was happening way before the Olympic Games.
Yeah, it's just showing and proving. That's all that was. Yeah. Yeah. Now we
So they had absolutely. So these were the things that that's part of our history. This is the spirit in the righteous soul that's a part of our history that we should look more at, rather than just stopping at our recent history, of our hardships. If we don't learn how to look past that and go back and get and fetch in the times, reconnect with ourselves in the times when our greatness were prevalent, then how can we ever move forward in such a great way?
And that will require us to do our own research, because the information that you're talking about is not something that our children are going to get in school.
Oh, absolutely not.
Oh no, they sure will.
They're going to start them off as slaves. Like this is the beginning of your time, not knowing that our history is rich. It goes back thousands upon thousands of years. Yeah, we as
absolutely
parents, as the people, will have to do our own research and give it to our children so they'll know who they are when they step out that door.
A little son and a little love. You'd be surprised what you unlocked in that cerebral cortex.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna say it again. Just a little sun.
Yeah.
Love.
Yeah.
You be surprised what you would decode just off of that.
Exactly.
Man, look.
Yeah.
Man. Oh, yeah.
They do not. I ran across a video about and I didn't do any research, but are you familiar with that we are 9 DNA series and everyone else is like 4?
So it's like ninth dimensional. Even our DNA has ninth dimensional potential, and everybody else is fifth or less. Yeah, fifth or less. So look, Diamond, I saw.
So Diamond, I'm curious. Do that mean that you're able to go from physical to spiritual back to physical?
Yeah, by the exercising of your will, absolutely. Absolutely.
I ain't gonna start.
But you just got to engage in the right practices to invoke. We are not physical primarily. Black folks are not a primarily physical being. We are spiritual. Yeah. And when I say spiritual, even in our whole lives, that's the quality at which we understand and know ourselves. Every day in life is an experimentation with who we truly are. That's what it is. All of our challenges in life is just another opportunity to see what we're made of. That's it, right? And so, but the only way, we have to check in constantly. Just like how how many days you go without charging your phone? You have to put your phone right back on that charger, right? So, but then you have to understand that that's sort of equivalent to meditating, checking back in with yourself to recharge the mindset. Because if you don't, and then how long can you go without turning your computer off? Like if you just never restart your computer, all those processes are eventually going to get kind of mucked up. You're going to start having all kind of glitches and all this. Then you have to restart your computer, right? So it can reset itself. Our reset is during meditation.
Okay,
so how many of us don't meditate enough?
We don't ground, right?
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Touch that earth.
What I'm just thinking what just came up again, something else just came up. If they are anchoring us on this fifth dimension, we are the ones that are keeping it going because we are the source for them. So if we leave this, they have nothing. They have nothing to plug into.
That's it.
They have nothing. So if we leave, they're stuck and their existence is gone.
Absolutely. Let me answer this question real quick. This is one of the books here. I know it's a bright light, but this is James George Stolen Legacy. George James Stolen Legacy. All right. This is a good book to get to know, first of all, to reestablish what what our contributions to the world really is, and what has been stolen from us by Greeks in the Western world. So this is a good, and he goes through the Memphite theology, which is pretty much what I just sent you guys through. Also, but only thing is the Memphite theology posits Ptah instead of Atum. So that's the only thing. But it goes through the cosmogony and cosmology as well. And so you have this. We have Ma'at by Malana Karenga, The Moral Idea in Ancient Egypt. Okay, and this is a study in classical African ethics. So this right here, and I got a whole bunch of them up here, but we have the Theophilo Bangas, the African philosophy, the Pharaonic period. You got that. So these are all books that you can actually get to learn more, and they give great detail about the Kemetic civilization, especially Theophilo Banga's African philosophy, the Pharaonic period. He takes you through everything from the mathematics to everything, the trade, all that kind of stuff. And it's a very, very beautiful book. So I've conducted book studies on all of these, and we're currently going through the Ma'at, the moral ideal in ancient Egypt right now. So taking people through that. But also, if you want to know about the spiritual aspect of it all, get the Metaneta volumes by Ra'ul Nefer Amen. Okay, that is a packaged up methodology of how to raise your consciousness from an African centered standpoint. All right.
I have one of those books, and it talks about in the beginning how they have taken our history, rewritten and given it back to us as a revelation from God to them, to us.
Mm-hmm. So let me make something clear that our ancestors went all over the world teaching. So it's not our stuff. Here's the problem: is that the credit was taken from us, rewritten and whitewashed for them to claim it as their own. That became the problem, because this is the wisdom from mankind, because we are the creator God, expressing through us as us, each one of us. All right, there is no God in the sky that's separate. God only comes into the world through you. Only through you.
Watch out now.
Okay, so no, I'm just saying. Any other way? Do you know any? And I mean, and don't go fantasizing on me and all that stuff, because we don't have to prove. And we talking about, and we talking about what can be, and not everything could be scientifically proven, because some stuff stays above the physical phenomenon, right? But this is what I do. I take you through the sciences and everything, and I'll take you all the way to the end of Jacob's ladder and have you jump off the other end, 33. And so you can have a different experience. That's what we do. 33. Okay, so we take you above that physical. You will understand that the physical is only the gross expression of everything else. Everything else, this is not the plane of causation. There's so much that happens before it gets to a physical expression. So much.
The beginning was the word.
Come on.
Yeah, even that was vibration.
100%, Queen. 100%. That word was vibration.
Yeah.
And if you want to know what they sound like, I got the vibrations written down. We call it the hekau. It's the hekau. Okay. So absolutely.
Glad you stayed.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge difference between quote unquote having a belief system and faith versus what you know,
versus truth, faith
and
and
live
hope.
in it.
Well, and see, and that's the thing. They those things that we were so sure of, that they replaced it with a system of faith and hope.
Yep.
You see, that's so disempowering, because they have you in order for you to have faith in something you have to be dependent on something outside of yourself.
That's it.
Hoping that something outside of yourself takes
exactly.
No,
yeah,
we don't deal with that.
You doing the blame game. Yeah,
exactly.
No,
that's
well,
the
it didn't work out.
mindset
What happened?
that they want us in. To always be dependent on something outside of ourselves instead of looking at ourselves. That's it. That's
So that
all.
removes the accountability and responsibility. So if it's not within me, there's something else out there
Mm-hmm.
that made me do it.
That's right. That's right.
Ooh, there go that word again. There go that word again.
No, sis.
Yes. Yes. No, she know.
Yeah.
I already knew she
Yeah.
knew. I could tell she knew when I first saw her face. I knew she knew. So absolutely, absolutely. But anyway, there's the history and origin of Black ethics. We are inherently good, loving, peaceful, spiritual, and powerful
Yes.
people.
Yeah, with spirit first. Yeah.
Mhm. Why do you think there has been no great civilization ever since that one? Kemet was the last great civilization.
Bars. Bars.
That was the last, and we could see remnants of it. So, and we see all the Nasut, but there was never anything added unto it from any of the invaders.
Mm-mm.
Nothing was added unto it.
Yeah.
Nothing. It only went downhill from there.
Right.
And trust me, we are the ones who built, and we talked about this last time, Stonehenge up in Ireland, and also Easter Island. Those are Black creations. So we'll talk about that next time.
Ooh.
Yes, because they really make us think that we were just on that plane of Africa, which was home, that we did not navigate the seas, that we did not navigate the air, that we did not navigate anything. Before they even stepped on the scene, we was everywhere. We was everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Everywhere.
Asiatic.
They don't
Yes,
know.
yes.
Talking
Black
about
Man of the
Asian.
Nile. Yeah. That's
I ain't
a
talking
good one
about-
by Joseph Ben Yakinen.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
It's
Absolutely.
just the way to keep
Anything
us-
from him. Anything from him. I highly
Yes.
recommend anything from him.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but he spent his life
Mhm.
studying.
Mm-hmm. And my teachers are his students.
Mhm.
My teachers are students of Dr. Ben.
Mhm.
You know?
Beautiful.
They couldn't stand for that man to be in a room full of Anglo-Saxons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he brought some pain. That
Mm-hmm.
144, baby. 144.
Mm-hmm. So hopefully I did you guys service today.
You did wonderful.
Letting you know the history.
Absolutely.
Yes,
I
Thank
had
you.
no doubt. Done.
But thank you.
This is right
Thank
up.
you.
I know. I said this will be right up his alley. Yeah. What is next week's topic? At least give the people that.
Hold on, I have to pull it up.
It would have
so I
been
can give it
great
you
to
verbatim.
have a few call-ins or questions to be unpacked. Not necessarily challenge the messenger, but just necessarily to unpack what a person may think they know versus what they need to know. That's because we need to dispel this whole just believe and have faith and you're gonna be all right.
Right.
Yes.
That introduces limitation on a spirit. A spirit ain't got no limitations.
All right. So next week on February 12th,
For
it will be the rise and fall of Black excellence. The rise and fall of Black excellence. So with that, we'll be looking at some of our greatest achievements of Black people. Of course, from starting Nile Valley region and all across the world. One of my Jegnas, Renoko Rashidi, who passed away this past summer. Last summer, last year in Kemet, by the way. But he did a very unique work. He went all over the world finding the African presence, and he brought us receipts for it all, even in Greece, even in Rome. So he went, so we got to see what they don't show us, the African presence that was there, ancient African presence, by the way.
Yeah.
So we had great achievements worldwide. So we'll be talking about that as well.
Who
I
started
had
writing
the
on
honor
paper?
of sitting next to him.
You did?
I did in LA.
Yes.
I did.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Well, I saw Renoco all the time. I used to get on him about his health and everything.
Yes.
I'll let you know. All you want to do is smoke weed all the time. Come on, Renoco. But I had the honor of actually being one of his pallbearers at his funeral.
Oh,
That's peace. That's peace. That's
Yeah.
peace.
Yeah.
That's
So
peace. Salute to the God.
Shay. So
Well,
yeah.
you ready to say, King Newborn? You was getting ready to ask a question or say something.
Yeah, man. I just like when he be dropping gems and jewels, and
Oh, he did.
it's another side of me that we want to go there, but I'm trying to maintain that bull because it's some things we not ready to receive, and you have to allow them to wake up in order for it to be received. Because this stuff, it is a frequency to this. Please understand that. You know, when they say Om, that was meditation. But we also talk about voltage. Think about what I'm serious. Domino, Skywalker, no. This you can, man. Look, you can hurt some people. You can hurt some people. But I'm very appreciative him being part of our Supreme Council, though. Like seriously, very appreciative.
That was all you all. Y'all was like, we gotta get him. We gotta get him. I was like,
well, God level, he saw after us though. He saw greatness in us from the beginning, and we weren't even hitting none of these topics just yet.
Oh no.
He already saw it in us.
Absolutely.
It was
a call in.
It was
just like you did.
I did the call in, and then I was a guest, and then
called in.
When he became a guest, he said it's an honor to be on this show.
That's right.
With us, and he said, if you allow me, I would love to come back.
Oh. And y'all,
because remember I came in on the one. I was trying to get the one that was for the following Sunday.
Facts.
But you called me in on the Sunday before, and so I just went with that one, and then I was like, if you allowed me to come back for the next one, then next thing I know, well, we might as well make this official. Might as well make this official, and I'm so happy I did, because this is just to have a new some siblings, you know, that you know, and that's why I see my brothers and sister. You know, this has become another family of mine. So I am so wealthy with that. But thank you all so much.
There you go. Currency again.
This is the real currency. Right?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
This is the real currency.
Shay.
Yeah. All right. Well, John, you got anything for us tonight? I know you do. You stay ready.
Bathing in the tears of the golden eye in the sky. And my melanin is getting wet. And like a sponge, I'm absorbing ultraviolet forces as I reflect. I remember back when my blackness wasn't too attractive. A young African messiah dying for the sins of being black-skinned. Crucifixion given by the other black kids. Colorism was an old religion they were practicing, where whitewashing was baptism. Back then, it was all jokes. Funny now how they're all woke to the black sunshine that I radiate, even on a rainy day. There's no hate for their shady ways in my DNA, nah. Because my black consciousness genetically is dominant. White supremacists are threatened. They see the royal oil in my pigment as a weapon. Damn. But my character is nonviolent, like a calm riot. That's a peaceful protest that I guess matters less, like Black lives. Just as long as I'm compliant, right? My mental health needs a strong diet of bright ideas to keep me strong-minded like a mine is. Inside full of diamonds. Outside is the finest earth tone with the spirit like the sky is. I rule none, but I'm still the highness. Why would I want to be the flyest, huh? I'm a black star, not a pilot. I still shine for the ones misguided, putting money where their mouth is. Call it black silence. But this is not a condemnation. It's an observation. And some may assume I'm biased, but white supremacy, that's a pseudoscience. The concept of an Aryan is inherited from the Hindu religion. It's embarrassing. The artificial light versus black sunshine pales in comparison. My black aesthetic naturally is electromagnetic, organic. You ain't got to process it. Shea butter is my only cosmetic. Black photons I emit. If you stare too long, you might squint. Daishiki on my luminous flesh makes me appear as a solar eclipse. My black sun shines so alive, I awake in the evening and the night goes blind. I speak right and I speak at the speed of it. God bless if you think sluggish, or should I say, God damn, like the descendants of Ham. The Catholic Church used a Bible verse to call my complexion a curse. Wait, a curse can be broken, right? If black don't even crack, is it hopeless? Bogus. I need soulful wisdom from my soul family, my solar system, the cosmos in my periphery. I'm the center of my reality, but this is not egocentricity. It's more like heliocentricity. And no, this isn't sun worship. It's self-love vibrating within. The frequency vibranium is. This is black sunshine. Bless up.
Bless up.
I say, wow. Love that one.
You always come hard.
Pause.
This is on the album, by the way, y'all. Dimensions, the first album that is called Black Sunshine. Black Sunshine.
See,
Two
now I
parts.
know. That's probably his smoking shirt. That's what that is. That's what that is. You got to be smoking to be writing like that, man. What's going on?
Man.
High creativity.
John been doing this for years. Him and that pen and paper, they on a whole nother level.
They got a beautiful relationship, don't they?
They
Who
really.
invented paper? Who invented paper?
You see this behind me? These are the papyrus plants.
Yeah.
These are the papyrus plants.
Yeah,
So that's your first forms of paper right
There
here.
you go. Yeah.
The papyrus.
More history.
Yeah.
More history.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And we did it from plants. We didn't do it by cutting down trees.
No, we
Big
didn't.
living
Ooh.
beings.
No.
Because
Ooh.
now today's paper comes from trees. So we have to kill beings, very ancient beings, in order to create the paper. But we just did it from these plants, which always rejuvenated themselves. So just think about that.
Wow. We was in harmony with the world around us, with everything.
Curse.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Man, peaceful time, loving time, healing time. We were healing.
Co-creating. Yes.
Co-creating. Oh, man. It's beautiful.
Harvest.
Yes.
Harvest.
I want to say something. I'm going to wait till we go backstage.
It was a science
All right.
to having a child.
Mm-hmm.
To birthing or bringing forth another God. There's a science to it.
But it was more importantly, it was a culture. You didn't bring a child into this world without the consideration of how they would function in the community.
Facts.
Mm.
Yeah.
It was extremely important. We don't have that today. We need to get that back.
The rites of passages.
Come
to
on.
get them back.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Oh, God.
Right. Thank you for allowing me to serve.
Oh, thank you for that. That was awesome. That was amazing. This is things that people don't want to talk about, brought to you by God Level. Again, we are officially on iHeartRadio.
Ooh, say that.
iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, Facebook page, things that people don't want to talk about. Come on over to the group. Let's build together. All of our, even the lives are on YouTube, so you can always catch it. If you didn't get a chance to check it out tonight, hey, check it out tomorrow. But we are here, like my brother say, consistency, and we ain't going nowhere.
We ain't going nowhere.
I want to thank you all. Thank you, our guest tonight, Miss Coach
Rakia.
Rakia.
Thank you for having me. It is such an honor, and I appreciate it. And this was what my soul needed.
I say.
Yeah,
Salute
she
to
was
the
burning
king.
up the
Walk
taco.
away.
She get with her. This is investing, budgeting, credit repair. If you're on the wrong track, she will help you get on the right track. Align yourself with your finances, so you can move forward and leave wealth behind for those who are coming behind you. That is, ooh, that's a show.
Yeah, that's a bar. Yeah, that's a bar.
For real.
Yeah, that was a bar.
Do y'all have anything y'all want to say before John?
Well, I just like to end by just encouraging all of us. So all my Black melanated people, and that's no matter if you consider yourself to be a descendant of Africa or already here. Love ye one another.
You know, you've been doing that all show. The whole show. If y'all go back and listen to this man talk, he been dropping those stones, boom, and then keep moving. How do you just like
I just want us to be good to one another. Be good to one another. Let's get back to our greatness, and that's how we do it through our ethics. Ashe.
John, you got me?
Yep.
So